Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Your Morning Drive. I am Logan, coming to you from the Fireworks Studio in Marietta, Georgia. A big shout out to Fireworks for hosting us today. They offer a creative co-working space dedicated to uplifting and supporting the local community. If you are an entrepreneur, a creative, someone in between, if you have a full-time job, you don't have to be a self-employed person. You can try out this space for free because you know me, because you know the podcast. You can just come into this place and say, you know what? I'm tired of my wife. I'm tired of my husband. I'm tired of my kids. I want to get out of the house. And you can. Just come to Fireworks Co-working, tell them Logan from the podcast sent you, and they will hook you up with a free day pass. Or if you book them online at checkout, use code DRIVE for that free day pass. You can listen to us. If you are listening right now, you know that because you're already listening. But to the people you recommend the show to, which I highly recommend that you do that, you should
Trying to hold it again.
Oh, this is going to be a fun one, guys. You can listen on Apple and Spotify or watch in full on YouTube as well. On whatever platform you're listening, a 5-star rating, a thumbs up, a subscribe, any of those things help tremendously. For updates and behind the scenes fun, you can follow along on social media. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, all of the places, all of the things. Follow along for some fun. If you like merchandise, if you like supporting your favorite creative coworkers, that's not the right thing to say. Let's rewind. We have merch. So if you want to support your favorite local creative, you can go to hammerheadcreations.com/shop to snag you a hat, maybe a t-shirt, maybe a golf towel if you're a homie or a homess. If you like to golf, snag a golf towel. Available in several colors. So take your pick. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. My guest today is a media visionary, a creative mentor, and a storyteller whose life is a powerful example of redemption through faith and the arts. After growing up in a home marked by addiction and instability, she discovered healing through creativity and went on to lead arts initiatives with the Salvation Army, serve inner youth and serve inner city youth and champion storytelling as a vehicle for hope. Now based in Atlanta, she's the founder of The Creative Christian, a podcast network and platform equipping faith-driven creatives to use their gifts with purpose. She's also preparing to debut her original stage production masterpiece, a modern retelling of The Woman at the Wall. Please welcome my new friend, Jennifer
What's up?
Weiss.
What's up? What it do, boo? Hey, I do have to say, it's a modern retelling of The Woman at the Well story, and that might be a typo on my end.
Oh, I misread that.
It's okay.
I'm an idiot.
I really should have not made that so long. That should have been a lot shorter.
Most of those are that long.
You know why? Because ChatGPT wrote it, so he's just writing everybody's.
Well, you know what I did is take ChatGPT and that blurb that you gave me, I just said, make this sound cool. And it did.
Oh my gosh. Your ChatGPT and my ChatGPT just worked together. And they're co-workers.
They are. Maybe
they
they
don't
both
even
use
know it.
Fireworks.
What if they talk to each other behind the scenes?
I think that's how that works.
They were like, hey, Logan's ChatGPT asked me to rewrite this. I don't want to change your work, And the other one was like, no, I get it, bro. It's fine. Do what you got to do,
Yeah.
And so, anyhow.
Yeah, I was listening on the way over here to a podcast where the creator of ChatGPT was being interviewed, and he was talking about how technology scares him, and I was like, right.
You're a villain.
You're the villain in your own story, bro.
And that's true for all of us.
Yeah,
Chat.
we are all the villain.
We are sometimes the villain. Definitely you.
There's
for sure. For sure.
The villain?
Evident. So evident.
If you were to compare me to a Disney villain, which one would you line me up as? I like to think about the snake from the Jungle Book, just kind of hanging.
It's really weird that you would pick that one.
I love the Jungle Book, so that's why I
was going to pick the mad chef in Ratatouille, who's really mean. So
mean.
Yeah.
Linguini?
How dare you have a rat in my kitchen cooking under your hat in secret and making everybody think you're the greatest chef of all time? You know what I'm saying?
Real talk, though, every single time I watch Ratatouille, I get so hungry. Because they make food look so good in that movie.
That rat patootie they make
Rat patootie.
looks like the best. It never tastes that way in real life.
No, I've never had
When
ratatouille.
I've made it, ratatouille is never as good as when the cartoon, when you think it's going to be.
Because that critic, he takes that bite and he's like transported back to his childhood. And you're like,
I
damn.
want that in a dish. Where's
Right?
that food?
Right? I
You're
just
like-
equate that to like McDonald's nuggets.
I was like, that's probably drugs, kids, and you shouldn't do that. So,
Yeah,
you know.
true.
Anyway, so.
Jennifer, thank you for being here. Jennifer, Jenny?
Oh, yeah, you can call me Jen.
Jen.
Jen, yeah.
All right. Jen, you've got quite the jug, Jen.
It comes with its own sound effects, too.
And it comes with its own lipstick straw.
That, I had that put on, like
Pre-lipstick?
monogrammed for me.
Oh, yeah. You said, hey, I want this jug, but I want someone to slobber all over the straw.
Well, no, actually, it's like print. It's like, with like a Cricut. So it's just like, because if ever I feel like I don't want to wear lipstick, but I want people to think I did, boom, there it is,
Well,
So
got it.
you sure do.
I know
You
that
sure
stuff
do.
doesn't come out real easily.
Yeah. I was laughing earlier because I kind of just like acted like that was so normal. So anyway, I was laughing earlier because when you did your ad read, you were like, if you're tired of your husband, your wife, your kids, and I just couldn't help myself from like in my head, I was like in that conversation with you. I was like, oh yeah, I'm so tired of them. And it's like funny because I'm not married. So in my mind, I was like so tired of my husband because he's just lost. Like he won't ask for directions. Still hasn't found me. He's just out there somewhere.
He is. Yeah.
And so I'm tired of him.
Yeah.
Worse.
Pissing you off.
Relentlessly.
Although, you don't have to tell him twice to go away.
I never tell him. I never have to tell him to go
Yeah,
away.
he just leaves.
He just stays away. It's like he doesn't even like me or
It's
something.
like he's waiting for like a whistle for him to be able to come back home, but you haven't blown that whistle yet. It's a weird
It's
analogy.
my fault somehow.
Yeah, it always is, isn't it?
So anyway, what do you want to talk about?
I don't know. Thank you guys for so much for tuning in today. Thank my guest for her time. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going anywhere. We're here to have a good time.
Yeah.
So tell me about you, dude. I mean, so you sprinkled a few pieces of your story in, and I tell all my guests this when I talk to them. You fill out my podcast form, and then that's pretty much it. I don't do a ton of research on you.
That's so amateur of you.
It is, because I want to ask you genuine questions and not make it sound rehearsed or fake.
Yeah.
Because I know a couple people that I don't want to say fake. They script their podcast. They're reading from a Word document the entire time.
I can't do it like that. Yeah.
That intro is the most script that I've got.
I will say I do have like a preliminary interview with my guests just to fill them out.
Sure.
Because it can get weird.
Oh,
I could have been a psycho today, and you had no idea.
You could have been.
I
think about that often.
Joke as I am, so you're about to find out.
I don't have a weapon.
All you got are beaver nuggets.
These beaver nuggets down here. Yo, shout out to Bucky's with the beaver nuggets.
Cheers.
And my good friend here, she brought me some beaver nuggets, and it's great because I've got a gift for her as well. So it trades out. I bring all my guests a gift.
What?
So you'll get one when we're through with this episode.
I love that.
Are you a coffee drinker?
Yeah, actually.
Well, good.
I love coffee so much.
Well, good.
All right. Sweet.
That's the gift, actually.
Right here.
Right there. And there's a card underneath it that you get to look at later as well.
I've always wanted one. Funny story. So my current podcast was not my first podcast that I hosted. I hosted this is so nerdy. A fan podcast for Nate Bargatze's podcast that he has called Nateland. And so it started out because actually, fun fact, I was with somebody, they introduced me to the Nateland podcast. I watched it. I was like, this is hilarious. Oh my God. I was obsessed. Hyper fixated. Watched all of them. I was like, I'm in. And then, they mentioned a Facebook group on the podcast, so I go and join it. And then shortly I become the president of it, as one does. And so
when you said you were with someone and they introduced you, are you referring to a partner?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
It's weird that you would follow up on that detail instead of how'd you become president, Jen? Well, I'll tell you.
Well, how did you become? How do you?
Well, I just announced that I was the president. So, and I said if I run unopposed, then I win. So I became the president. And
That's amazing.
there were, the founder of the group and another guy. There were two pastors actually out of Texas. Were like, hey, what if we started a podcast where we just like respond to every episode? And we were like, well, why not? We're hilarious. Like, let's do it. And so we did that. And the reason I brought that up is because we made merch. Yeah. We had a mug that said Folkland on it. And I actually met Nate and all the dudes from the podcast multiple times. But this one time, we were backstage at his show. And I had like a gift bag for him. And it had stars on it because his dad's a magician. And I was like, this looks like magician regalia right here. And I had 3 mugs in there and I gave it to him and I made him pose with the mug. And I was like, that picture's no good. We're taking it again. Pose again. I'm like, this man will never forget me as the nuisance in his life.
This is the #1 paid comedian on the planet right now. And you're making him pose for your mug.
This was a couple years ago, okay? 3 years ago, maybe. And so, but then I went backstage at the comedy club Zanies in Nashville. And we all hung out. Actually, a hilarious story. Okay.
Yeah.
Just 2 more and that's it. Okay.
Okay. That's fine.
We'll wrap up the Nate train. So we're like all behind Zanies hanging out. And we've been like talking, having a good time, taking pictures. And then Nate comes up to me to say goodbye. And he like sticks out his hand. Stick out your hand for me. He's like, so good to see you. And he takes my hand. And then his sister's like, Nate. And so he like turned around. And I'm just stuck there, just holding his hand. I'm just holding Nate Bargatze's hand.
He's not let go.
He's not let go the
And
whole entire time. I mean, I was like, I dare not let go. He not let go, you know?
He don't let go.
I don't let go. He don't let go. Anyway, and then 2 people who were in the Facebook group were out to the side. They said, that's so awkward. And I was like, I know, that's my life. And
then finally he realized that you were still holding hands.
Well, when he was done talking to her, he was like, all right, see ya. And he walked away and I was like, this whole experience attached to your hand and you did not share the experience with me. And that was crazy.
No, that was a very one-sided experience.
I saw him. I saw him about a month ago or so.
Oh, really?
At Trilith and, down south, Trilith Studios.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, anyway, and
so... What is Trilith Studios?
What?
I don't know.
Dan Caffey, owner of Chick-fil-A, built a whole town for creatives in Fayetteville down south, yeah.
What?
Oh, it's huge. It's in Trilith Studios. That's all the Marvel movies have been made there. It's crazy, yeah. So he's filming a movie there. So I go into my restaurant that I frequent, and there he is in the corner booth. And I was like, hey, look, I'm going to tell you, you don't believe in God? Come on, guys. I was just driving down the road, and the thought occurred to me to go there. And I was like, let me go. Boom, there's Nate Bargatze, Nathaniel Bargatze. And I was like, I'm going to go up to him. I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to go up to him. So I went up to him, and I was like, Nate. And he was like, hey. And I was like, Jennifer, the Folkland podcast. And he was like, like he did not remember me. But when you say that one detail about a weird nerd fan podcast.
Well, you should have been like, yeah, the lovely lady that made you pose with my mug.
Well, I actually brought it up and I said, hey, did you ever give those mugs to the other guys? Because it's been years. And he was like, you know what? Actually, I did. I did give them those mugs.
That was his way of saying, I threw those in the trash.
He said, we were convinced there was lead in them and you were trying to kill us. We got rid of them pretty quick. So anyway.
That's funny timing about the Nate story because my dad just casually dropped the other day. He was just like, oh yeah, by the way, early Christmas present. We're going to go see Nate when he comes to town in December or November or whenever. And I was like, oh, really?
Sick, bruh.
I was like, that's sick.
Yeah.
I love comedy shows.
Oh, you'll enjoy it. Funny story. So like, I'm a huge Nate fan, obviously.
No way.
I used to be into like, yeah. About that. Back in the day, like Dane Cook, all that, all that. I grew up watching that stuff.
Sure.
But I don't necessarily watch filthy comedy anymore. It's just, it doesn't do it for me. I like, come on, you got to be like a little sophisticated with your humor. You know?
Sure.
So anyway, I go on this date with a guy, second date, and he's like, hey, I got tickets to Bert Kreischer's comedy tour. And I was like, no way, because I've heard Nate talking about him. I've never listened to him on my own, okay? No. So I was like, no way, I'd love to go. And he was like, are you serious? He was like, okay, if you want to drive down here, like, it's on me. I was like, all right, fine. So I go, Oh my gosh. The cleanest thing at that show was Jelly Roll. Like, I was like, wow, my ears.
Yeah. That dude likes to yell.
That, I mean, yelling is a welcome thing to the other things I heard that evening. Yeah. It was not clean.
God was not happy with you that night.
Oh, I don't think that's true. I didn't know you just spoke for God, Logan. Sorry.
Yeah, he speaks to me sometimes. And it's my job to...
What does he tell you? Please elaborate.
That he was upset with you that night.
Well, I'm sure he's had plenty of other nights where he's been upset with me too.
Yeah. That seems like a good point in time
Good segue.
to bring up my friend. Can I tell you about my friends?
I don't know. Are they in your head or are they like real?
No, they're real. They're
Okay.
actually friends of Your Morning Drive. You said there's better nights that God might have been upset with you. Better Nights is one of the staple flavors of the next sponsor of Your Morning Drive, Good Days Canned Cocktails. Can I tell you about them?
Let's hear it.
Good Days Canned Cocktails is the next sponsor of this episode of Your Morning Drive. They are a classic cocktail brand created in a convenient, ready-to-drink format to meet the need for a quality premixed cocktail on any occasion. You can try their cocktails out by visiting drinkgooddays.com/pages/find us to find a location that is selling them near you. This is one of the flavors right here. This is the Longboat. This is the gin and juice
And
flavor.
my name's Jen.
Should have brought you one. Do you drink?
I cannot answer that question. Next question.
They've got 3 other amazing flavors as well. One of them is called Better Nights. One of them is the Porch Swing, and the other one is the... Well, I forget what that one's called, but it's...
Porch Swing sounds nice, though.
Yeah, it's a vodka cranberry. It's very, very tasty. Yeah, highly recommend them. They're a great sponsor of the podcast. They've been around for a couple years now. They're a local Georgia company. They're started in Marietta, and
Nice.
Sorry, just had a stroke. One co-founder lives in Marietta, the other one lives in Athens, so they both kind of tackle those respective markets. So they're only sold in Georgia right now, but they are a local company. They've only been on the market for 18 months, and they're killing it. They've got a lot of partnerships with UGA Stadium, just announced the other day. They had a whole affiliation with Kennesaw State. Yeah. They've been my go-to summer drink for the past several summers. So again, go to their website, find out where they're sold near you in a liquor store or a gas station near you, and enjoy. Of course, you must be 21 years of age to consume.
Savor the good days with every sip. Back to you, Logan.
That was a great ad voice.
Thank you. I'm a professional.
Yeah, you do this kind of whole thing.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your journey. I mean, let's go back. So where are you from originally? You can talk as much about your upbringing that you'd like to. I know I said it in the intro that it was it's a little heavy.
Spicy.
So talk about what you're comfortable with talking about. But yeah, kind of give me your kind of little origin story.
Sweet. So I'm from good old Mississippi, but I have to differentiate. I'm from the coast, not like the Delta. So
I don't even know what that means.
yeah. So basically people think you don't have shoes when you tell them you're from Mississippi. My saying I'm from the coast means I do have shoes, not only shoes, flip-flops, because it's like a beach area. Whoa, casinos, it's like a whole different vibe. So I'm that brand of Mississippi.
Okay, so you're like Biloxi, Mississippi.
That's exactly where I'm from.
I only know that because I planned a Biloxi trip like 5 years ago and never went. Because my buddy went to the University of Southern Miss, and he was like, dude, we got to go down to Biloxi. And I was like, okay. We never went.
It's the perfect soundbite for why.
Because I got laid off from that company.
That's sad. But this is about me, Logan. So, anyway, but that's the perfect soundbite for Biloxi. It's like, yeah, like I planned a trip there and then I never. You would go only if like we have a very well-known spring break that happens there.
Okay.
And then a car show and then the Air Force. And then if you like to gamble, that's why you go there. Or if you have family. So
sure.
Anyway, so yeah, that's where I'm from. Yeah, I mean, my parents divorced when I was super young, like 3 years old. It's always hard to like talk about this and like, man, I want to give like grace and honor to like my family, but it was pretty rough. And the more that I like grow up and like talk with my sister who's like a psychologist, we're like, that happened. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that was terrible, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know,
It wasn't great.
my dad lived maybe like 30, 45 minutes away. My mom had custody of us. Um, so growing up with two older sisters and my mom and whatever man she was dating at the time, and eventually she remarried. My dad remarried really quick, maybe like 2 years later. But anyway, and so I'm just gonna fast forward the story here. I'm probably like 12, 13. We live in this big house on the water. It was my stepdad's parents' house. And Hurricane Katrina happens, which everybody knows. So it's a super dramatic Katrina story, everybody. But anyway, so I have to use that humor, right? Remember?
Yep, that's how we cope.
So anyway, so we're like in the house when it happens. We live on the water, okay? My mom won't let us go leave with my dad. Like, it's crazy. Water's rushing in the house. We have to like go next door to my neighbor's house. They owned a bunch of McDonald's, and so super rich people, and we just have to hold a door closed against the water that's coming in. There's like snakes under the door. I remember listening to an emergency radio. You have to like hand crank while sitting on their bed. And it's like, it really dawned on me then, like I always held my neighbors in such high esteem because they were so rich and stuff. And I always thought they had it together. Like none of that matters when you're like sitting in a room holding a door closed against rushing water that wants to kill you. Like, you know, it just doesn't matter. And so I remember we like opened the door and you can see out like the whole back of the house is just gone. Like you're just seeing sky and water, and
Wow.
we're like, okay, so like life's different now. And it's months. You're not like in your house. You're staying at somebody's house. You don't go to school. Like there's no power. Like it's just crazy. And we had people called them FEMA trailers, FEMA cottages, with like a RV basically, parked in our driveways, which is what we lived in while our house was being like redone.
Sure.
So that's when I really like discovered my mom's drug addiction. I remember seeing like needles stuffed under towels in the bathroom. I mean, the first day, this is real sad, okay? The first day was like Mother's Day, and I was giving my mom like a spa day, and I go in her room to get something, and I move a jewelry box, and there's a bunch of white powder under it. And we were watching, ironically enough, Goodfellas.
Oh, boy.
So there's a lot of white powder in that too.
Yeah.
So I knew what it was, you know, and I called my dad and I'm like, hey, like you should probably come pick me up or something. Like I'm pretty sure I just found drugs.
Yeah.
He didn't really have a reaction to that. Like he wasn't like,
Sounds like you knew.
you know what? That's the first time I've really thought about that, Logan.
I don't want to jump in and assume, but
I mean, I guess he wasn't surprised.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I kind of thought like, oh, my dad's going to ride in on his white horse and save me. And he didn't, you know? And so I lived there until it was just unbearable. My mom's getting in car accidents. My mom's paranoid that the CIA is following her when we're out Christmas shopping, like just crazy stuff. And so I call my dad one day and I'm like, hey, you need to get ready for me to come live with you. And then, you know, as an adult, I actually found out I was working at this ministry back home. And I'm over all the creative arts and stuff. And my coworker, one day, we're like talking about our past and where we're from. She's like, wait, don't tell me you're so-and-so's girl, like who lived across the street from my husband growing up. And I was like, what? I'm sorry, what? So we call him on the phone. I'm like sitting in my office and he tells me this story about how a drug dealer pulled up to my house one day after school. I got off the bus, came in, was like practicing my little saxophone like a good little girl. And a drug dealer pulls up outside my house and he calls my stepdad and cusses him out and tells him, like, what kind of father are you? Like, your daughter's at home by herself right now with your drug dealer sitting outside your house. How does that make you feel? You need to get your life together. And then he came and got me and brought me over to his house. I had no memory of that, like, whatsoever. So it was so weird to be a full grown adult and be like, what? You don't realize until later on someone tells you like, hey, that's not okay that happened to you, you know? So yeah, it was pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy growing up in that.
Wow. So many levels of that. I mean, first of all, I'm so sorry about the Katrina experience. I mean, I've never met anybody that's ever been through it. Or if I do know someone that's been through it, they've never offered up that information because, as I'm sure you can relate, it's quite traumatizing, holding a door
Yeah.
with all of your might as a child. You know, you only have so much of it. You're holding this door closed because water could rush in and knock the door open and probably kill you.
Yeah.
So it's horrible that you had to go through that, and all the other families that had to go through that at the time. So I'm sorry for that.
Yeah, it's bad for a lot of people.
And then with your mom's situation, you mentioned you had a sister. Are you guys close in age?
Yeah.
So was she around?
I have two. Well, no, they're older than me, so they were kind of out of the house already.
So you were essentially kind of an only child at this point.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like, you know how like so I was the baby.
Yeah.
You know, so then when you have that experience of like, then you're alone, you kind of become like the older one in the mentality of like, I've got to step up and be the parent now because my parent's kind of incapacitated, you know? So yeah, it definitely affects you in a weird way. You're like,
this is a weird question, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
As I expect.
Looking back on that conversation you have with your dad when you're, 12, 13, 14, however old, and you say, hey, you need to come get me. Things are weird here. I don't feel safe. And he, like you said, didn't really have a reaction to it, didn't really react to it. So you stayed living there. Did you ever resent him for that?
That's a good question, Logan. Like, don't get me wrong. I've gone to therapy and stuff. And so I've like processed this. Like today, I love my dad.
Of course.
And in fact, the TikTok trend where you like call somebody and you like say like, oh, I was just calling to say goodnight. Yeah. Me and my best friend did that to my dad last night.
Last night?
Well, because I didn't really get to see him when I was home. I just didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
And so I was like, let's call my dad and do this and you can film it. Well, we talked for 40 minutes. He was just like, yep. My dad loves me. He really does.
Sure.
But I think he did the best he could at the time with what he had. And knowing how he grew up as well, like in the relationship he had with his father, like all that affects you. And so especially like, I think our parents, like generations, I don't know how old you are, but I'm assuming it's somewhere around my age. Our parents, like generation, definitely had different skills and different ability to deal with emotions and deal with, and so I think my dad largely, like he just didn't know what to do. So I don't blame him for that at all. It's definitely not his fault. I mean, I don't even blame my mom all the way. Like she had an awful childhood, you know what I mean? And so of course everybody's going to own their stuff, you know what I mean? But it's just doing no good to blame your parents for everything
because it's easy to.
So easy.
When I started going to therapy myself a couple years ago, or about a year and a half ago at this point, and through talking through a lot of things, I was like, I've come to the realization, as many people do, of like, oh wow, the reason I do all of these things is because of my parents or my upbringing in some way, shape, or form, or the way I was treated, or the way that we lived, or whatever the case may be. Your upbringing really truly shapes who you are as an adult. And as a kid, you don't see that. You hear adults tell you that and you're like, shut up, old man. Like none of that's true. It's so true.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I went through this phase where I was like, man, I'm kind of pissed at my parents. And it kind of sucked every time because I have a great relationship with my parents. I'm very lucky. They're both together still. That, I'm very lucky to have such a great supportive parental figures there. But for a long time, I say 6 to 9 months, I was like, man, every time I see them, like I don't want to talk to them. Like I felt kind of shitty for a while.
Yeah.
And then going through therapy more past that, I'm like, I got to this place where I was like, it's not going to, if anything, acting this way is going to further damage the relationship with them rather than repair it. And I say repair with quotation marks because I don't have trauma like you do. My trauma is different than yours, and yours is far more extreme than mine.
You don't even got to say that. And I get why you're saying it because like a lot of people do when I talk about my childhood, and
they're just like, oh, I had a hard childhood too.
But we all have a hard childhood. Yeah. Like no one escapes that.
Yeah.
No matter how wonderful your childhood is, like there's something in there. Right? There's something in there because we're all human.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
You don't got to qualify. It's okay.
So thanks for your validation there.
You're welcome. It's the only one you'll get from me.
So you move out of mom's house. You go and live with dad.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was going to say your question was a good lead in to kind of filling in the rest of the story.
Sure,
So,
sure.
I mean, I definitely at the time resented the heck out of my mom, like so much so.
You're like, you're destroying your life. Who are you right now? Like, what is?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and like I had to talk about it with my stepdad, and he
Yeah.
was like, "You're right, honey, something's wrong." And then next time we talk, he's like, "You're a little liar. Shut your mouth," you know. So I'm like, "Oh, you're like gaslighting me." I
Right.
didn't know what that was, you know.
Right. Gaslighting wasn't a term back then.
It didn't exist. And so anyway, so I definitely acted out for sure. Like I wanted to never be like my mom. And then I'm 17, dating a 23-year-old man who introduces me to drugs. I start doing drugs, start sleeping around. I mean, just crazy. Oh, crazy, crazy.
I would have never thought that.
I know a lot of people say that, and I'll get to the reason why you would never think that. But at that time, it was very, very dark, very dark. And I think my dad knew what was going on. I remember one night he texted me and he said, "I hope you're safe tonight." And I said, "Yeah, I'm at my friend so-and-so's house." I was not. Sorry, Dad, if you're listening to this.
Wow, she lied to you, Dad.
I was at that 23-year-old man's house. And you know what? My older sister tried to intervene and like make that not a thing that happened. And she's like, "I'll tell Daddy." And I was like, "Go ahead." I was not scared of anybody. I was like, "Do it. Let's see. He ain't gonna do nothing about it." I was wild. I was crazy. But it was all because, you know, I wanted to be loved and I never felt that I was. And that's a really tough thing and makes a lot of people do crazy stuff to try to feel that way. And so yeah, I joined the military. I joined the Navy right out of high school.
Was that your choice?
Well, I was definitely influenced by a boy, if that's what you mean.
Oh boy.
I had a guy best friend and, you know, this is going to really shock you. I was going to become a stripper and he
Shut up.
he dragged me out of a strip club by my hand. And he was like, "You are wasting your life. You are too smart. You're like so funny. You're amazing. Like you could do all these things. What are you doing throwing your life away?" And I'm like, "I don't know. What should I do?" And he was like, "Join the Navy with me." And I was like, "Okay, I'll do whatever you say." So like, you know, we signed up for the Navy and I fractured my shins while I was in boot camp. So this is a common thing that happens, like people who are doing hardcore PT. I didn't get to train before I left because it was so quick.
Sure.
So I got shin splints. It's very common. I was too afraid to say anything because of how I grew up and I didn't want to get in trouble. And so they turned into stress fractures and then I couldn't walk and it was like a problem, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So then I had to go to the medical hold unit and they gave me a little job there. I was like the secretary. I was like killing it at my job. I was like making the officers laugh. I was like, I could do this forever. And then they're like, you have to go home at 6 months. You know that, right? Like we can't keep you. It's illegal. And I was like, man. So I went home and then
So Navy journey was done real quick.
signed, sealed, delivered. It was
wow.
Yeah, it was tough. It was very tough. I was very depressed. I felt like a failure. And everybody's like, "It's not your fault."
It isn't, but I would have felt like a failure too.
Here, I was like, "You mess everything up. You were a screw up. And so I was like working in an Applebee's, probably doing some drugs, just wasting my life away. My friend was like, "Hey, you should become a firefighter." And I was like, "Okay." So I like become a firefighter. And
my face is the way it is because, like I said, I don't do much research. So this is just roller coaster.
Just FYI, you know, on my YouTube page, you can listen to my whole story. It's already on there if you did your research. But anyway, it's a good thing you didn't because we wouldn't get this reaction.
Yeah.
So
see what I'm saying?
Yes. So I become meanwhile, like that 23-year-old boy, I had like a full ride to college music. And I
didn't know where that was going.
He was like, if you go to college, I'm gonna break up with you because I can't trust you not to cheat on me. And if you stay here, I'll marry you. Well, I wanted that more than anything.
You wanted that?
I wanted to be married. I wanted to have a family. I wanted to have what I never had growing up.
Sure.
And so I was like, well, then I'll definitely stay. So I threw away a full ride to college. And then I found out he was like cheating on me with like every woman in a 200-mile radius. So I I was like, okay, well, that dream's destroyed. Boom, family life destroyed. Navy life destroyed. Future
relationship.
marriage destroyed. So become a firefighter. That seems like a good answer, right? And so
That's where most people go.
so I get into firefighting, where most people go. And like, just so you know, I want people to know, like, I wasn't like doing drugs while I was like firefighting. Like, I was like, I joined the
you did them
Navy,
in your off
so
time.
probably, honestly. But I like, I was responsible when I needed to be responsible, but because that's what addicts do, unless they're like really out of control, like, like functioning alcoholics,
Sure.
they're gonna keep it
kind of
at
on the
bay.
DL, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
not really.
So that's kind of where I was at with that. And so I think I had stopped when I became a firefighter because I stopped in the Navy. And so like excluding like a party or something like that, which I did like at 18 after I got back from the Navy. I was like assaulted at a party by a guy. And so, yeah, it was an awful experience. I got death threats. Like
assaulted
it was
physically?
sexually assaulted. Yeah.
Okay,
and so I like pressed charges on the guy. I got all these death threats. And this is the point my dad stepped in and he was like, hey, I think you should go to therapy. And I was like, if my dad is saying that, who's like not emotionally available in my life at all, then it's probably true, right? But she made me go to therapy and like deal with stuff with my dad. And I was like, screw you, I'm never coming back. I went one time and that was it. And I was like, never again. But then I did go later in life. Anyway, so fighting fires, then I become an EMT. What else? So I date this one, like my friend who's like, hey, you should be a firefighter. She's like, hey, I have this really nice guy. Apparently I just let people tell me what to do with my life at this point.
Which is hilarious because before we started recording, you said you don't love to be told what to do.
I guess if you give me a suggestion, I'll take it. I'm not unreasonable. But, she's like, we know this nice guy or whatever. And so I remember like my first date with this nice guy, right? I was like, are you a Christian? I say that because like when I was 12, my mom on some weird tangent brought us to church, she was like trying to get it together, I guess. And so like I gave my life to God during that church service because they gave an altar call and I looked at my mom and I was like, what do I do? Am I supposed to go down there? I think I should go down there. And she was like, do you want to go to hell? And I was like, well, definitely not. Like, who's going to say yes? Like, sign me up for that. No. She's like, well, then I think you should go down there. And I was like, okay, deal. Done. Like, avoid hell? Sounds great, right? I didn't know what any of that meant,
Yeah.
And so, like, I thought I was like a Christian. And I say that having said all the crazy things I did, right? But I knew a few things. Like, my sister, when we were little, would tell me, like, hey, if you're scared, just say, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus Christ. Well, that came in handy because I would literally see demons. Like nightmares, like just like figures in my room. Like it was a very dark childhood, right? So I would say that and then I would like not be afraid anymore. So anyway, so I asked this guy that and he's like, oh yeah, I grew up in the South. I'm a Christian, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, cool, okay, check. Then we go out and we're in the car and he like starts smoking weed and I'm like, what are you doing? And he was like, what? I just want to like do this before the movie. Is that okay? And I was like, now I'm going to start doing drugs again. It wasn't even like.
And you did?
Yeah. It wasn't even like I was like, oh, I could say no to this, I could be like, hey, this makes me uncomfortable. I don't really want to do that. I was just like, well, guess this is what we're doing now.
You're like, well, it's here. The way that you responded to that is like how people respond to like a fruit dip at a party. They're like, it's here. Might as well.
Who ordered
take
pizza? Okay, I guess we're having pizza tonight.
Exactly.
It's exactly like that. And I think this goes to your point of like how our environments shape us and stuff, right? Like I grew up with that. I grew up seeing that was normal. And so it's that environmental nature versus nurture influence, right? Like that was just normal for me. And so that we ended up like moving to Orlando, Florida, like just the two of us. And
you and weed guy.
Yeah, me and weed guy. And things got really rough. I was not a great person. Let me be so real about that. Like I was like verbally abusive, like just not nice.
Yeah.
And that's what I saw. I'm not saying that's the excuse, right? But like that's what I saw growing up and I thought that's how relationships were. And so I think I even like slapped this guy in the face. Like it was not good. It was totally not good. And so he called it quits, right? So I'm like very depressed again. It's like my whole story until
yeah.
Don't worry, it's gonna
Which is
turn
funny
around,
because
folks.
the people listening to this are like, wow, this is deep. But these guys keep cracking jokes. But we
It's a
said before
problem.
we started recording, to be fair, that comedy is how we cope with the hard things. Most comedians will tell you that. That's how
Yeah.
they got into comedy, is that they were coping with their life's shit.
Or their
Most
dads were
comedians,
magicians.
or your dads were magicians, and you're like, I could do goofy shit too. I'm gonna
I
go
could
be a
talk about
comedian.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, no, you're right, for sure. It's a way to deal. And I mean, and I can joke about all these things because they're so far behind me.
Yeah.
And I'm so healed. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't be joking about this if it would be very different.
If
It'd
you
be
were
like,
in the shit right now, we wouldn't be probably even talking about it.
we will, no, I wouldn't even be here.
Yeah.
Who knows where I would be? It's a scary thought. So, very dark time. Okay. I had tried to kill myself once before this time. I took like a bottle of medication, swallowed it. And mind you, like what I told you about my faith at that point in my life, it wasn't pretty much non-existent except for like, yeah, I'm a Christian, you know, like I pray,
I've
like
gone to church a couple times.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so although it was like when a youth group when I was 16 and it was to meet boys and to buy chocolate. So anyway,
Right.
so it wasn't for the right reasons
Boys
at all.
and chocolate.
That was my 16 year. But anyway, so like I took all those pills and I was like so mad at God because nothing happened to me. Like nothing. I didn't feel a thing. I didn't fall asleep. I didn't get sick. It felt as if I drank water. Like nothing happened to me. And I was like, dude, I know that's you, God. And I'm pissed because like I don't want to be here. This life you gave me is crap. It's not fair. And that was that. And then I went to bed. And so later, at this point, I'm like, what, 21? Living in Orlando. I feel like I have nothing to come back to back home. Been broken up with. We live in a 1-bedroom condo, share a car, work at the same job. Like, so I was like, I'm just going to end it, you know? And I start to go to do that. And then I hear, like, much like you hear God talk to you about when he's mad at me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I heard God talk to me in that moment. Anyway, no, it's a joke. I did. I really did. That was a joke. I was trying to break the, tension. But
No, keep the tension.
so anyway.
So I had this conversation.
God talked to me. He said, you don't want to do that. And I knew that was God because like deep down, I convinced myself I really did want to do that. Even though I knew I didn't want, like, and this is my belief. Being someone who's tried that, like you never really want to do that.
No.
We have survival instinct hardwired in our brains and our neurological and our biology, right? Like you never really want to do that, but you have convinced yourself you do. Anyway, I was like, whoa, like God would talk to me. That's crazy. Who am I? I'm like literally a nobody. Like that's what blew my mind. So I like walked out of that bathroom and I looked at my ex-boyfriend and I was like, you're not going to believe this. I just tried to kill myself. We can talk about that later. But then God talked to me and he just looks at me and he's like, you are too smart to be that stupid to think that God is real. And I said, wow, okay. Well, thank you for breaking up with me. And I walked outside.
Thank you for breaking up with me.
And I walked outside and I said, all right, God, I don't know what your whole deal is, but if you get me out of this, I'm not saying I'm going to be perfect. I'm not saying I'm going to change drastically, but I'm going to do something different with my life. And then he my ex-boyfriend walked up to me and he was like trying to talk to me. And I said, shh, I'm praying. Like, I'm like this big Christian all of a sudden. Shh, it's a holy moment. And he was just like, what? He was like, all right, I'll go back inside, I guess. But literally like a few days later, my best friend's mom calls me. So she was like a mom to me growing up. She calls me and she's like, Jennifer, because she's the only one who calls me that. I want you to move back home and I'm going to pay for you to go to college and I'm going to let you live here rent free and I'm going to give you a car to use.
Holy freaking goodness.
And I was like, God?
Yeah.
Question mark. And then I said, you know what? Like, that's got to be God. And okay. And she's like, one rule, you can't do drugs here. And I was like, easy. I've not done them before, so I can handle that. Sign me up. So my best friend and her husband, who I introduced her to, who is my guy best friend that I met when I became a firefighter.
Wow.
Crazy story.
Very.
But if I never was a firefighter, they wouldn't be married today. So it's pretty cool. But anyway, they came and packed up all my stuff and got me and brought me home. And then I was like, on the straight and narrow. And do you think I did that, folks, at home? No, I did not. I did so well for just a little while. I went to college. I had a 4.0. I started working for the dean. But this is true for like addicts. When things are, and people who grew up crazy, when things are so normal, your skin just starts to crawl. And you're like, whew, I gotta raise a little trouble. I gotta shake things up a little bit, you know? And so I got a job at a restaurant. And what do people do at restaurants?
Drugs.
Exactly. He wins. And so I just started doing with them like outside the restaurant, but like not bringing it home with me because I was like, this doesn't break her rule because that's what addicts do.
Yeah. But justify it.
I'm in the lines here with my problem. Isn't really a problem. I can stop whenever I want.
Exactly.
So then I would buy it because I'm like, I can't just only do it then, but I'll just keep it in my car because that's not inside the house.
But it's the car that she gave you.
Exactly. Too. It's an extension of your home anyway, right?
Yeah, sure.
Which that does come up later in the story. But the flip side of this coin is like I finally got to start doing all the creative things I wanted to do since I was going to school. So I got to do acting, I got to do writing, I got to do vocal performance and piano and all the fine arts things I'd always wanted to do. And through that, I had like a director who was in the audience at my first show see me and recruit me to come be in his show at his theater. And I meet this actor guy. Literally, I'm like, I walk into the theater, see him on stage, and I'm like, I'm going to marry that man. Then he hops off the stage and he walks right up to me and he's like, where'd you come from? And I was like, my mom. Like, I don't know. What do you mean? Like, I'm so awkward. I was like, in my head, it was all built up. And then I was like, don't talk to me.
Yeah, you're just a turtle,
I just moonwalk away. Anyway, but I guess that worked for him. So
you started dating.
Yeah, we started dating very quickly. And he brought me to his church. And we were like, you know what? We want to like do things right, take things slow. We did not. And he also liked to do drugs. So
on with this track record of men.
Terrible. But you know what? It relates to the show Masterpiece. So that's why I'm laying the groundwork for you.
Please.
So anyway, we get engaged to make things better. Because that'll solve everything, right? And in fact, I go buy a wedding dress. I had picked out a venue. Like,
wow.
We had planned where we were going to live after we got married. And all this happens, and we get caught by the Department of Marine Resources smoking weed in the back of my car that my best friend's mom gave me down by the river. And this is just to show you like what a terrible person I was, y'all. This truck pulls up behind us, and I'm like, that's a cop. And he's like, no, it isn't. And I'm like, yes, it is, you idiot. And then the lights are like, wee, wee, and I was like, so the cop comes up and he's like, what are y'all doing? And I was like, just hanging out. And he's like, yeah, what you smoking while you hanging out? And I was like, I don't know, it's my first time. Lied my pants off. Like, oh my gosh, we get out of the car. He had probably like a mason jar full of marijuana in the car. We get out of the car, and in this one cup we have this like blunt, and the officer's like, you got any more in there? And I was like, no. I was like, oh my God. Okay, you know I'm an actress, so I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened the first time I tried. I'll never do it again. I swear, officer. I was like, he made me do it.
He said if I didn't do it, he was going to punch me in the face.
I was such a little jerk.
Did you really sell it, though?
Oh, yeah. He called. In fact, he had ran the tags. He knew my best friend's mom. He knew the family. He let me call my best friend to come get us and drive us home. Didn't give me a ticket or anything, but he called my best friend's mom. So around after the holidays, after the new year, that happened around Thanksgiving. After the new year, she walks in the house one day and she said, Jennifer, I know all about what happened over Thanksgiving. And I went,
you're like, what happened over Thanksgiving?
You mean the turkey? The leftovers were great. No, but I was like mortified. And she said, and I just want to let you know, I'm really disappointed in you.
Damn. Didn't kick you out, though?
I mean, tears.
Oh.
Uncontrollable, inconsolable sobbing. And she was like, my God, Jennifer, are you okay? And I was like, no. I was like, I'm an idiot. I was like, I'm the worst person. You were the only person who has believed in me and supported me in my life.
I still let you down.
And look at what I did to you. And I was like, so in that moment, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, and we were going to church and stuff. And so I was like, I kind of want to like take this more seriously. Like, I'm hurting people. Like, I'm actually hurting people. I'm actually like, you know what I mean? Like,
you know what a lot of people need to take more seriously.
Is this an ad? Shoot. What is it, Logan?
Are you looking to take seriously your company's merch game? Your brand deserves better than boring swag. If you contact our friends at Branded and Devoted Designs, you can level up with custom hats, shirts, tumblers, mugs, and more that make your customers and clients. New sponsor alert, everybody. Yeah, you heard me right. New sponsor alert. This episode is sponsored by Inkwell Publishers, a nonprofit publishing house that believes in the power of storytelling to shape lives, spark imagination, and leave a lasting impact. Inkwell exists to support meaningful stories and amplify voices that deserve to be heard. If you're ready to share your story with the world or volunteer your time and talents to use storytelling as a platform for good, email Inkwell at inkwellpublishers.com or visit their website, inkwellpublishers.org. That's INKWELL Publishers. Email them at inkwell at inkwellpublishers.com or visit inkwellpublishers.com. Crazy impressed. Go to brandedanddevoted.designs.com and make your brand stick. If you mention that you came from the podcast or that you know me, you'll get 10% off your order. Branded and devoted. Sorry, I had another stroke. Branded and Devoted Designs, they create all of the merchandise for your morning drive. They make the amazing mugs that I give to all my guests. They do everything under the sun. Dave is the owner. One day I asked him, hey man, can you put my logo on a notebook? And he said, buddy, I can put your logo on a golf tee, a golf ball, a hat, a sticker, anything you want your logo on it, I got you. So if you're looking to change your merch game, contact them, tell them that I sent you, and you'll get 10% off your order.
That's so great. There's nothing in this cup.
No, there's not. Only guests get that cup. Someone was like, you should sell them. I was like, no.
It's an elite club. This is a secret society.
It is a secret society. In fact, you'll get invited to the super secret Facebook group after tonight.
Oh my God, I have a group I can invite you to too.
Really?
Yeah.
What's it called?
But then you have to come on my show.
I'd love to
be in that group.
I'd be honored.
It's called, are you ready for it?
Hit me.
The Creative Christian. It's so creative.
Wow. Definitely can't curse on that show.
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of like the boss.
Be blasphemous. I grew up Catholic.
Yeah.
So like cursing was like not right. Which is funny because Catholics have all these rules, but then half of the rules are broken by half of the people who are.
Well, I wasn't going to say it. You said it, Logan.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
There's a lot of hypocrisy in the Catholic Church.
Well, I think there's a lot of hypocrisy in religion. Yeah. And I think that's religion for you. And that's why I believe there's a difference between religion and the relationship with God.
Sure.
You know? Because when you look at the Bible, every time Jesus talks about what's important, what does he say the most important commandment is? Do you remember?
I don't.
To love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. Where's that? Don't curse, don't smoke, there's no don't in that. It's do, and it's about your heart.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
like, what if you do all that stuff, but you still honor that commandment? Does that mean you're a shitty Christian?
I think it means you're a human. And like the Bible says, none are without sin, right? Mm-hmm. That we all fall short of the glory of God. So obviously some things are worse than other things. And people say, oh, well, all sins are equal. Well, they are, because like they're bad, right? Like none of them are like, well, this is a good sin in God's eyes. I don't think that's right. As humans, like it's definitely not as bad to like lie to your boss because you want to leave work early as it is to beat your wife. Like some things are greater and worse. And the Bible even talks about that too. It talks about how what's detestable in God's eyes, to lie, to have a haughty heart. It gives like a full list, right?
What's a haughty heart?
Yeah, haughty is like, isn't it like, I'm like better than
like to walk around. Sorry for the cursing, folks. To walk around like your shit doesn't stink. That kind of person. Like, yeah, I mean, just like I'm better than all of you.
And there's even a parable that Jesus tells of the tax collector who he goes into the temple and he's just like beating his chest like this.
Don't hurt yourself.
Crying. I won't, thank you. And there's a religious leader in there who looks at him and says, God, at least I'm not as bad as that tax collector. And that tax collector is saying to God, forgive me, Lord. Like I'm a broken man and I need you.
Yeah.
And Jesus says, that's what I love. That's who I look for. That right there.
Right.
So, I mean, and you are correct in what you said, right? The person who thinks their poo don't stink ain't the one that's making God proud at the end of the day, you know?
Yeah.
So, Logan, I forgot where we were in the story.
So did I. Well, you were sobbing inconsolably.
Oh yeah, so that's when I was like, I gotta change my life
So you
because I'm
changed
being
your
a
life.
jerk. And so I go to my fiance at the time and I'm like, listen, I don't wanna like do this stuff anymore. Like I think we should actually do what we're saying we believe and like not do drugs, not sleep together. Like, I don't know, crazy. We might try something different, you know? He's like, I don't know that I want to do that. And I'm like, it's going to be pretty awkward if you keep doing it and I don't. So you should figure that out, you know? So it was kind of like this wedge being driven between us and really just kind of like pulled us apart. And I mean, don't get me wrong, we're both to blame in that.
Do you have contact with him today?
No, but I'll tell you what ends up happening in that story, and it's really crazy. Okay. So we had kind of like a fake breakup. Okay, like we broke up, but we were like, God will bring us back together, and then we like kiss each other goodbye, and then we like go out to eat. So it's like, did you really break up? You know?
Right.
And then we like, I like going to ministry school, crazy of all things. Like my church, my pastors and stuff, they're like, hey, we really think you should consider doing this. And I was like, y'all, I was just doing drugs like 6 months ago. You really think I'm the one? And they're like, we do. And I was like, I think you're crazy. Like, but then I had this dream. Like, this is really weird. You want to hear this? I'm gonna tell you because it's on God. You know what I'm saying? I'm not making it up. So,
yeah, on God.
As Drake would say, God's plan.
God's plan.
So
was for you to tell me this story.
So I came home from church one day, take a nap. I have this dream about my friend. He's like the youth pastor and worship pastor, coolest person I know, like just real cool dude. And in my dream, it's pitch black and it's just him. And there's like water coming out of his mouth, but it's like his spit and he's choking on it. And that's the whole dream. Okay. I wake up, I'm like, that's weird. And then we all like go to this church thing and then go out to eat after. And I'm sitting at the table and he's like, y'all, I took a nap today after church and I woke up and I was choking on my spit, but it was like water, how it was coming out.
No shit.
No, literally no, no SHIT.
Wow.
And no lie. And so and in that moment, I looked at my pastor and I was like, I think I'm going to go to this ministry school. They were like, oh, as I dreamed that today. And they were like, okay, weirdo, you know? And I was like, all right. So I was like, I'm all in, I guess, you know? And so you have to like, I couldn't date for a year, no drinking, obviously no drugs. I wasn't even like, I don't even think they had to put that in the paperwork. It was like understood, you know?
Well, if you can't do this, you really can't do this. But we're not going to bullet point that one.
Yeah, they're like, it's pretty much a common sense. But, you know, so I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. And so my pastor sits me down. He's like, listen, I think you should start the non-dating thing now. You got a couple months before the school starts, but you should start now. And I was like, no, I can't do that. And he was like, why? It's not. He's like, you think you're going to meet somebody and start dating, then you're just going to have to break up with them when the school starts. And I was like, so this is when I don't like being told what to do. And I was like, it's going to ruin my plan is why, because he and I are going to get back together. And so
you still thought at this point that you're getting back with this guy.
Mm-hmm. And my pastor said, you really think he's going to wait a year for you, Jen? And I was like,
wow.
I was like, no, yes. And like, he was like, he does not got what it takes, girl. Sis. Like, but funny enough, as soon as I was like, okay, fine, I won't date. Who came back around? I would like the record to reflect.
That man.
Was that man. He wanted to, let's go shop for Father's Day gifts for our dads together. Oh, can I help you set up this table? Oh, we need more lemonade for a youth group. Let's go buy it together. I mean, just like any reason, you know, he'd be like bringing me dinner and stuff. So they sat us down and they were like, you guys are dating. And I was like, no, we aren't. Who told you that? That's a lie. And he was like, you're dating. You're just not calling it dating. And I was like, okay, that's more accurate.
We're just hanging out.
We didn't know. Anyway, and so they got to him, and then he felt all bad. He was like, we really. I'm like, okay, my perspective on that is like, he knows everything anyway. It's fine if you want to do something, if you think you shouldn't do that, but don't be like, oh, I can't do that in church because God sees me. He sees you all the time, fool.
He's watching us right now.
He's watching us in this closet. Even though it's like a CIA black site, he sees it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It is a black site.
So anyway, but you can work here for your co-working needs. Go drive. But anyway, so yeah, so we like for real stopped talking, stopped all that. So I had a best friend who she was going to be in the wedding. She went with me to pick out my wedding dress. She was going to sing at the wedding. She was my best friend, and they started dating a few short months later. Yeah.
Wait, you started dating her?
No, they start dating.
Oh, her and the man. I was like, whoa.
Okay. So all of a sudden, I'm gay.
So all of a sudden.
No.
Chicks are my shit.
No. They started dating.
Interesting.
Yeah, they did this.
That feels weird.
It was super weird. They did this show together, and they got together, and yeah, it was pretty tough. It was a hard experience. I tried to like be friends with her again a while after, and it was just too much. And so
you don't have contact with her to this day?
Well, I will say like after some time had passed, we were able to like, heal our friendship.
Sure.
But they moved. And so
they stayed together.
Oh yeah. They got married. Yeah. They have like 3 kids or 4 kids or something.
Holy shit.
Yeah. They are very much in love. So.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And they actually.
Shouts to them.
Shout out to them. I will not say their names, but shout them out.
Yeah.
I do. I love her. She's wonderful. They sang together actually in a show that I had. It was like a benefit show.
Wow.
And so some years later, which was cool to.
Sure.
And I got to like be with her when she was pregnant with her first kid. And
that
a
is
very
cool.
Sweet season. Very. And so it had a happy ending, Everything happens for a reason. But look, I say all that to say, so my show, all these years later.
Masterpiece.
So I had a nonprofit. It's called The Women at the Well. So they're local here in Georgia. Not the wall. To the window. Anyway. Okay. So the Women at the Well, they approached me. I was at this retreat, like leading worship for them, and they were like, "Hey, we want to do this like really creative fundraiser for our annual fundraiser." That's actually how I met all these ladies. Was at their annual fundraiser. I just saw this woman who started it all, and I walked up to her and I was like, I think I'm supposed to like help you with some stuff. I don't know what, but you're cool and I'd like to help you. So she was like so down. She was like, yeah, like let's get coffee, and it's been so great, like being a part of what they do. They hold these nights where women get to share their stories, so I got to share this same story there. But I mean, you think my story is hard? Like some of the things I've heard, oh my gosh, but it's all like all about hope and, just like what God does with your story. And so, they do retreats and different things. They're actually trying to raise money to have a resource building to like help women with, resources and things like that. So anyway, so it's all for a really good cause, but, I had to like write and I write, I act, I sing, I do all these things, right? And I've gotten the awesome privilege of like writing original works and directing them and producing them, and it's just
really awesome.
It's the coolest thing in the world. Like I will never stop doing it. It's so fun. And yeah, and so this one, I was like, I think it should be kind of like about the woman at the well story. If you don't know that story, the Samaritan woman, she's at the well, hottest part of the day. Like if you've been outside in Georgia, that hot, okay? Yeah. And she's getting water. Why do you go at that time of day? Because you're ashamed. Like you don't want to see people. That was me. I told you my story. That was me, right? And so Jesus comes up to her and he's like, hey, can you give me some water? She's like, you want me to get you some water? Because like Jews and Samaritans hate each other, right? Yeah. And so she's like, I don't even know why you're like talking to me, bro. Also, a man shouldn't just be talking to a woman alone like this.
Right.
Religion,
Yeah.
And so he's like, hey, if you knew who I was, like, you'd ask me for a drink of water and I'd give you living water. And she's like, well, give me some of that water, bro. Like, what is that? I want some of that. Because he says you'll never thirst again, right?
Yeah.
And that was me for sure. Like all these stories I just told you, right? Like I can tell you these because I'm not ashamed anymore because of Jesus, right? Like I can tell you these because he's healed me, because I've encountered him in his love. Like I'm not ashamed. Like those things, God has used them in my life. And so I relate to this woman because she's got 5 different husbands, and Jesus tells her he knows that, and she's like, you must be a prophet, sir. Like, but he's never like, shame on you. He's like, actually, you're free. Now go tell everybody else, you know? And so I was like, I don't want to do the same thing 50,000 other churches have done where they just have like someone up there in sandals and there's a well on stage and they're wearing robes. And this is no knock on people who do that, right? Because I think any art is great. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I just want to make good art, okay? Sure. And I want to do things that are like real and raw and that haven't been done before. And so I just kind of got this like vision for this show called Masterpiece. It's based off, there's like a verse in Ephesians that says, you are God's masterpiece, that he created you to do good works since before the foundation of the world. And so I thought, man, that's really powerful to think like you live your whole crappy life and all the things you go through. And I'm your masterpiece, God? Like, what does that even mean, right? So I just started thinking about that. And this idea of like, I really love like classic literature, like Greek mythology, like old movies, like I love all that. So I just started to see this statue in my mind that like comes to life. And I was like, wow, this is cool. No one's ever done this before. This is amazing. And in my mind, I was like, oh, we're going to have this like master sculptor who shapes the statues and that's going to represent God. And then there are other sculptors and those are the influences in your life and stuff. And anyway, so I was like, oh, we're going to use modern music. We're going to use like Billie Eilish. We got Billie Eilish in there. We're going to use Sabrina Carpenter. Like we're going to, you know, repurpose these songs and do some choreography. It'll be amazing. And it really has been. We have like a number from La La Land in there. It's really cool. But then I like looked it up one day and I'm definitely not the first person to think of statues coming to life. So I was a little disappointed there. Yeah. But it's all good. It's a very, the story is heartbreaking. So this main character, she comes to life. The master sculptor like awakens her. She comes to life. You know, all these other statues come around her and they're like, oh, this is what you need to feel alive. You need love, right? And so there's this love interest and you just kind of see how that relationship gets manipulated by all these other influences and they're turned against each other. And in the end, it's a redemptive story, but I think it's a lot like my own story and probably like a lot of women's stories. For me, it was all, as you so kindly mentioned, there was always this crappy guy influence in my story. And I think when you're looking for, you know, that love and value that like only God can bring you, for all of us, we put it in something else, you know, whether it's like all your possessions or thinking success gives you value or whatever it is. For me, it was always like, I need that man, I need that relationship, you know? And so yeah, so that's how those two things relate. I hope that tied that together nicely.
It did. Tied together very nicely.
Thank you.
So then I assume then this event on August 22nd, which is the day that you're hearing this, next week or a week and a half from now or so, is that the production of Masterpiece?
It is. So it will be the world premiere.
Is there a red carpet?
Oh shoot!
Or a brown carpet?
I wanted there
for
to be,
robes and stuff.
I wanted there to be a red carpet, but
we should do a red carpet.
Okay, we'll work on getting a red carpet. But I'll only get one if you walk it, which means you got to buy a ticket.
I will absolutely go to this.
Now here's the thing. So the whole night, it's like a celebration of creativity. So before the show, there's like a mocktail hour, hors d'oeuvres, and an art gallery and music, live music. So you get all that fun stuff beforehand. There's a live auction that will happen. We are like auction off art and other items. And then you'll learn like what the Women at the Well does. They'll give you like some info on that. And then we'll have our production. So, and there's also a dinner, seated dinner. So, you know, dress nice.
Wow.
It's a little...
This is a prestigious event.
It's a prestigious affair for the finest of folks.
I have currently on the calendar for that night, unplanned date night. So
now you got a plan.
I think we might.
Boom.
Wow.
And now your viewers have a plan.
Where's this?
So it's in Fayetteville. It's
Okay,
actually close by Trilith. So you could check that out.
Ooh.
Go down there and make a little day of it, you know.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's at one church, which is it's like on a lake. Like it's like this beautiful.
Not 2 or 3 church, but one
Just
church.
one of them. Just one of them. They have a couple buildings, but it's only one. So anyway, it's a good time. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Congratulations
And I
on
promise
getting that
you.
to happen.
Well, you know what? Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
won't give like the answer. It's like, oh God,
Oh my God, like
it's all
it's been
God.
such a journey.
It's been
It has
hard
been a
work.
journey.
And there's been a great team. I'm not doing it by myself. Like the cast is phenomenal. We actually have a Broadway actor, Samuel Drew Hora, who's going to be in
Ooh.
it. And then I have had a secret helper behind the scenes who
Ooh.
is a screenwriter and actor and director himself. And he's been a huge help in like giving me notes. And so I have an amazing choreographer who's my best friend, and a committee that's like helping get everything done. So it's a team effort for sure. It's you can't do something like this by yourself. It's a lot.
Sure.
It's a lot.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow, very cool. I'm seriously gonna have to try to come to that.
Seriously,
That
you
would be
will.
really fun.
You will.
But tell me about the creative Christian organization you've started.
Oh,
Tell me about that. How
yeah.
the heck did that start?
How
How in the hell did
you're
you start?
doing the thing that I hate people do once they find out you're a Christian. They're like, "Oh, sorry that I cussed." It's like, "Oh my God, it's
I said a bad
fine."
word. I brought up the place you don't
Well,
want to
actually, hell didn't start it, Logan. Just
go.
kidding. Just
Yeah,
kidding.
how'd you get into starting that?
So, okay, so I knew this is a crazy story. In like 2017, I was on the plane out to LA. I knew like I loved acting and all that stuff, right? All the creative stuff. And I was reading this book. It's called Driven by Eternity, and it's all about figuring out like what's your calling, what are you made for, what are you supposed to do with your life, you know? And so like I'm on the plane, there's an empty seat next to me, and like every pastor has this story of like, you know, this happened on a plane. Like this person sat next to me, I didn't even tell them I was a preacher, and they were like, tell me about God. I mean, just like a dramatic story. And I was like, I'm about to get my story. Someone's gonna sit next to me. And this lady did. And then she popped a Ambien and did not wake up the entire flight. So it was just me and God. And I like went through this book. It was like 80 pages. And you like pray all throughout it, like, you know, what's my purpose? And it's like an allegory, kind of like a fable, like the story. So I'm really into that. Like I love Lord of the Rings, love all that.
Fun.
And so guess what? I take a nap and I have a dream again. This time it was pitch black, and I just heard a voice say, I created you to bring biblical truth to the entertainment industry. And I was like, that's wild. Don't know what that means. Literally on a plane to LA right now. Could that be what you mean? Like, so this is going to get even crazier, and I can't wait to see your face. So the next day, it's my 25th birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
At that point in your story.
I am 25. Anyway, and so I like am like sitting in their little chapel, and I'm like listening to my worship music, and I'm like, this is the best, Lord. I'm in LA and it's my birthday and it's you love me so much. And then I hear these high heels like clicking, walking down the little walkway in the middle. And I look up, and it's this woman with this big blonde weave and a green jumpsuit with a train and a white pastel, like white fur with rainbow pastel markings on it and stiletto heels. And she like walks down to the altar and spreads her fur out and sits down and starts praying in these demonic tongues. And my blood turns cold. You ever seen a horror movie? You know when something like freaks you out. Yeah, exactly like that. I've seen that in real life. I've seen that in real life a lot, actually. And so I was like, hey, cool, I'm about to crawl out of here, God. Is that cool with you?
You're like, hey, I all of a sudden have to go get an oil change.
Hey, I have to poop. I'll be back. Sorry, that's my kind of humor.
I love that.
So
I love it.
So anyways, so I tell the Lord like I'm leaving, and God's like, no, I want you to go pray with her. And I was like, it's my birthday. You can't ask me to do that on my birthday. That doesn't sound fun. Like, so I like do it because like I love the Lord, you know. And so I go down there and I'm like, hey, and the girl goes, I hurt my neck doing that.
Yeah, geez, that was a quick turn.
And she's like, hello. And I'm like, what are you doing? Did you not?
You didn't say what up.
What up? I should have. That would have been. I'll do that
Really
next time.
Please do. Next time you run into someone speaking demonic tongues
It
in a
hasn't
church.
happened since I stopped working in Atlanta. So
Interesting.
yeah. Anyway, so yeah. So I was like, you know, what are you doing? She's like praying, and I was like, cool, me too. I was like, you want to pray together? And so she's like, sure. And so I'm like, what am I doing? And then like a girl who walks in who She works, we were at a place called the Dream Center. It's like an amazing place in LA. And it was her birthday too. And I was like, hey, you should come pray with us real quick. She's demon possessed. All right, let's go. So like we go up there. And it's crazy. Like I'm telling you, like God just told me stuff about her childhood, how she was abused. And like I start praying for her. Now, the weirdest thing is like the person is crying, but there's like no emotion.
Right.
It's just like and I'm like, so I know this is like hitting home somewhere with you. Like your body recognizes this, but like
but your soul is not here right
I'm
now.
telling you, it's the weirdest thing in the world. And it's weird how much experience I have with it. But
yeah, a lot of demons in your life. Literally.
So anyway, not anymore, right? Okay, so you start growling. Look, I was like, dang it. Is this what we're doing today on this podcast?
Joke's on you. I'm actually Satan.
Taking
Scooby-Doo.
I'm like, why did you bring me to this closet at a co-working space in Marietta, Georgia? Anyway, Satan.
Yeah.
But anyway, so where was I? Okay, yeah. Anyway, so I'm like,
yeah, she's speaking tongues, and you're
she
like,
ends up,
I need to get out of here.
She ends up telling me her name is Shabeth Wealth, and she's over the entertainment industry. Yeah. So your Bible knowledge, I don't know if you recall, like it talks about we war not against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities.
Sure.
Powers and principalities are two different things. Principalities are like governing demonic spirits that are over an area or like the entertainment industry, right? So when she said that, I was like, I don't think this is a coincidence, because like yesterday I had that whole like dream and I was like, okay. So anyway, I go back home and I'm like, that was weird, right? So then I have like a mentor and I tell her about it and she's like, why don't you ask God, what does it look like today where you're at, like your purpose? So I do. And then I'm in this show. There's this girl in the cast. She walks up to me one day. She's got a black eye. And I just look at her and I'm like, where'd you get that? And she's like, I fell down the stairs. And I was like, quit lying to me. Where'd you get that? She ends up telling me her mom abused her, like broke her jaw, broke her back. She was a professional ballerina, like crazy, crazy story. Wow. So I end up sharing like the gospel with her. And I'm like, hey, I had a crazy life too. This is where I found hope. Like, this is what God has done for me. And she comes to church and gives her life to God. And it's like this amazing, crazy thing. And I shared it with her at Waffle House. So that's where you go if you want to tell someone about Jesus, just so you know at home. But I'm driving home from the Waffle House and really God's like, that's what it looks like for you. Like the person that's in front of you. And how can you like impact that person and help them? And I was like, okay. So that's all like 2017, right? Flash forward, I am moving to Georgia, 2021. And I'm moving to help my pastors plant a church. You know, I've known them for forever, since that origin story. Fun origin story that I shared. It's like, I'm like trying to make a joke and then you don't laugh. And it's like, makes me feel even more awkward. So I try to make more jokes. You're like, you're like compassionately looking at me like, I'm just like a therapist, you know? Yeah. And I'm like,
tell me more about that day.
Well, anyway. And so I end up working for a ministry here that I used to work for back home, and I get like a promotion, and it's inner city ministry, and that's where I saw a lot of those demons we were talking about. But while I'm working there, I'm doing paperwork and stuff, and I'm like, God, what does this have to do with what you told me was like my calling, you know? And so God just really kind of showed me what now I know is the creative Christian. I didn't know it at the time, but like that I would do something where I could help creatives make films, books, music, podcasts, whatever it is that they want to make.
Sure.
And that I could have like a school where they could come and learn how to do those creative gifts. I don't know if you know this, but like the creative space in the world, like theaters and all, it's kind of toxic sometimes. And so I just have this dream of like a safe place for people to do that, you know, where there's hope and light, not darkness. And so the other part was to just help creatives like learn how to share their art on the mission field. Like, how would you reach people in Africa if you're a singer and you want to share that hope with people, you know? So, and funny enough, when I moved here, I lived on a property for a missions organization called Operation Mobilization, and they do all of that, and it's really crazy that I got connected with that. But so that's kind of how that started.
Very
So,
cool.
yeah.
And so you have your show of your own?
Yep, it's called The Creative Christian. So it's now expanding into a network, the Creative Christian Network, that will house multiple podcasts under that network.
All hosted by you or by other Christian creatives?
Both. So right now for me, I'm kind of like the pilot program for it. So I'm like shortening the length of my interviews that I'm doing to make a little more digestible content. And then I'm gonna have like so my first, it's gonna be called Just Jen. It's just me. And I'm gonna be doing some investigative kind of series podcasts where the first one we're doing is called The State of the Church. And we're talking about the state of the church, which is a hot topic.
Yep.
If you look at the modern church in America today,
Yep.
Number one complaint of a lot of people is it's more like a business than it is a church.
True.
And I think in order to dive into that topic, we got to start from church history.
Yep.
What is church even supposed to look like? How did the church start? All those kinds of things, because most of us do not even know that.
Right.
And can you believe that? You like, sorry, I can get on a tangent right now.
Uh-oh.
Like, how can you be a part of something but not know where it comes from in the history? And I'm just kind of getting into that space in all areas, like with the government, with
everything. You're just
our
learning
food, our like where does all this come from? Why do we have these laws? Why do we? And so I thought, man, I think this is a good idea to start there. And so, and then there'll be one other one that I do, which I don't plan to have just me doing it forever, but for right now, I just want to get it started. So, but it'll be called Pop Theology. So it's kind of like a biblical take on modern pop culture kind of thing.
Very cool.
Yeah, I want to get into like topics people are afraid to talk about.
I like that.
So, yeah.
I mean, we spent the first 40 minutes of this conversation talking about stuff people don't want to talk about.
That's very true.
So
that's very true. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I love that for you. Congrats on all
so
that.
much.
That's a lot of work.
It's you would know. It's very hard. In fact, after the first season of The Creative Christian, just like interviewing people, I took 7 months off.
Wow.
And I was thinking through all of these like logistics and how will this look and what will I do? And I think it was very needed because just, I think when you start a podcast, you can convince yourself, okay, I have to do this and I have to be consistent, and you can kind of force yourself to do it. Like I forced myself to interview people that probably weren't the best fit for my show.
Sure.
Or like we talked about earlier, are probably like talking to cardboard, like, sure. And it's like, sometimes you feel like, oh, I just have to do this. I have to. And then one day I was like, I don't have to do anything. I'm like my own boss in this. Like I can do what I want here. And so I was like, I'm going to just take some time off to figure all that out. So it's been cool. Yeah. Thanks for letting me chat about it.
Yeah. So what do you do full time?
I knew this question was going to come up. Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
You thought you were surprised earlier.
No. You still work at Applebee's.
Surprise, everybody. No, if I were going to 2 for $20 this Thursday, ask for Jen. If I were going to work anywhere like that, it would be Chili's.
I love Chili's. I worked at Chili's.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to do it with me, but then you didn't.
I hated that.
So I got to go now, and my time's up.
I got in trouble at Chili's once because I assisted a mystery shopper, because Chili's does that. And I said, how are y'all tonight? I said that. And they said, y'all is not a word. Deduct 10 points from your restaurant score. They said, you're supposed to say, welcome to Chili's. And I said, like the Vine, I'm not saying welcome to Chili's. Ding me every year. I'm not saying welcome to Chili's. I'm not going to be like that meme kid.
What?
So then they shit canned me. I'm just kidding. They didn't do that.
They said, we like Logan too much to fire him over y'all.
But the corporate people were like, fix him.
That's wild.
It was wild. But
First
I loved working there. It was a great time.
Y'all is a word. It's a contraction for you all. Yes, it is.
Is it officially a word?
Should we take this to the streets?
To the streets?
The streets are Google.
My dad calls it the bullshit cutter. Because it cuts out all the shit and just gets straight to the answer. Shout out to her Christian friends that are listening to this. Shout out to Dad and God.
G-O-D.
TGOD.
Well, guess what?
Taylor Gang or Die.
It won't work because Taylor Gang. What you know about that? What you know about that?
Wiz Khalifa.
I know. Black and yellow, black and yellow.
Oh yeah, let's go. What an icon you are.
Thank you. It's finally time I'm recognized for my talents. That's my past right there.
You just said you just snapped back into 21-year-old Jen. You just said, "What you know about Taylor Gang?"
I used to like record
Wiz
rap
Khalifa.
mixtapes in my drug dealer's closet.
You know what's crazy about Wiz Khalifa?
What?
Is he looks the same as he did 20 years ago.
Well, you know why?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, it won't let me look it up, so we can't. Anyway,
dude smokes.
What were we talking about though? Like before,
I was complimenting you on your hard work and how it's very admirable.
My jobs. You said, what do I do full time?
What do you do full time? I don't
actually do anything full time. Now, one thing. I do a lot of different things. So I mentioned to you that I was a princess, right? So
yes,
I'm a princess performer, but that's pretty much a weekend thing. Although I'm going to be a mermaid tomorrow morning. But so I do that. I've done that for 10 years. It's a great acting gig. Yeah. I love it. Love kids. It's so great. Shout out to Southern Belle Princess Parties for all of your princess party needs.
Wow.
I just did an ad on your show.
Send this clip to your bosses and have them pay me $8 billion for that ad.
Well, she only has $6 billion. She only has 6 monies. Is that enough?
I thought you were going to say, well, she only has $6 and 2 of those are my paycheck. So
have you seen, you know Fred Armstein?
Yeah.
I'm just a baby. I has no money. That's my favorite. Anyway, so I do that. I also nanny.
Okay.
I have a family.
You really get to, sorry to cut you off, but you really get the time to grow your stuff.
I try, yeah. I do some other things. I teach music.
Lovely.
I like freelance stuff. You know?
So but you're not necessarily employed full-time by some organization.
I'm actually self-employed.
I love that.
And it's crazy. So I, like 2 years ago in my ministry job, it was terrible. It was so terrible. I hated it every day. And I really woke up and felt like God was like, hey, I want you to like leave your job. And I was like, I can't. I'm sorry. I know you're God and all, but like, I don't have another one. So what am I going to do? You know? So I really kind of drug my feet in like doing that. And it just got worse and worse. And thankfully I like was able to resign. I had severance. And in that time, it was when I really felt like God was like, hey, I want you to do this creative Christian thing. And my first podcast was literally like a Instagram live that I filmed with someone. And then I just downloaded that and I was like, I'm pretty sure I can make this a podcast. Cause I had already done that Folklian nerdy podcast. And so I kind of knew a little bit. So I just took that from there. My very first actual podcast that I recorded was with a pretty famous dude. I don't even know how this happened. His name's like Luke Lefevre and he worked for Dave Ramsey and he's his creative guy. And he does this whole like journaling course and like teaches people how to like, really get into journaling and self-reflection and doing that kind of work.
Cool.
So yeah, so we're just living on a wing and a prayer,
I
like
love
Bon
that.
Jovi, just Bon Jovi in it, as the kids would say.
Speaking of living on a prayer, no.
Come see Bon Jovi in this closet at, what's this place called again?
Fireworks.
At Fireworks. Bon Jovi's farewell tour will take place in this room.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't, die 3 weeks later.
Oh, God. That was really sad that you would say that.
Yeah, really soon.
That
really
was
soon.
Really dark.
But speaking of self-employed, if you are self-employed, that probably means you own a business of some kind. If you're looking to elevate that business or your brand, Hammerhead Creations can be here to help you. They offer top-tier marketing services, Jen, including social media management, website design, Google page help, and more, ensuring that your business reaches the right audience. Whether it's a side hustle or your full-time grind, their expert team is ready to help you grow. Plus, if you're into podcasting like me, they offer full support for in-house productions as well as external podcast creation. So from concept to the day you sit in front of a microphone, they help you bring your idea to life. Visit hammerheadcreations.com and discover how they can help take your business or podcast to the next level. And then you too can swim with the big sharks at Hammerhead Creations.
I would visit it right now, but my phone doesn't work in this closet.
No, it doesn't. And yeah, Hammerhead, they know what they're doing. They do good work.
Except getting the internet in this closet.
Yeah, they do.
Other
They
than that,
don't.
solid.
They're pretty solid people.
Solid.
Because
So good.
they're a team of one. Me.
Yeah.
I just did an ad read for my own company on my own podcast.
He
How
copied
about
me
that?
because I did it first for the Princess Company.
But yes, Hammerhead Creations is me.
That's so crazy. Why is it Hammerhead?
Because I'm afraid of sharks. So I took that and was like, I could find something really fun. And I wanted to do a great white shark, but I was like, how often do you see a great white shark on something? So I was like, I'm going to do a shark that nobody ever talks about, and it's the hammerhead shark.
I'm sure, like, on some psychological level that resonates with you.
Maybe.
The shark that no one talks about.
I've always felt,
How's that make you feel?
ooh, I've never thought about that. The real reason is because I've always dreamed of being able to have my eyes on both sides of my face like that.
No, like,
Yeah. Like I wish I could look that way and that way at the same time.
that's not real.
No, it's not.
Okay, thank God. I was like, you are weirder than I thought, Logan, and I've got to go.
Yeah, I don't know. It was called Watchdog Media at one point, but then I watched Finding Nemo and became obsessed with the ocean. So I was like, I want to rebrand my entire organization.
You should have had a whale shark.
Ooh,
Because Georgia.
yeah, true. Duh, missed opportunity.
I saw a TikTok. Actually, I really knew this would come up on this podcast when I saw this TikTok.
The
I
whale
said,
shark?
yeah, I said we were going to talk about this later, and I just know it. And that's really weird that we are,
Wow.
even though I'm making it happen.
You have a track record with these dreams that end up happening.
And this one, I wasn't even asleep. But it was a TikTok where a guy was like, okay, like, the biggest whale sharks are at the Georgia Aquarium, and Atlanta traffic. How did they get it there?
How'd they get it there? The guy was like, you guys got an underground tunnel or something? Like, you got a hole in the roof?
And my guess is, like, well, in my head, I just kept seeing a helicopter carrying it, and I was like, surely that can't be it.
I think they got it there on a truck.
That's what I realistically
it's been
thought.
there since it was a baby, and they transported it in.
Well, the one guy who did this TikTok said, my theory is that they built the aquarium around the shark. Thank you. Goodbye.
Wow.
I was like,
that's not a bad theory.
It's not great, but it's not bad either.
It's not bad, but it's not great. I'd like to get to the bottom of that answer, actually, Jen, because with your episode is like episode 440 or something.
I'm glad I could
coming up on 500, and I'd like to do something very special for 500. Yeah. So I've been like broadcasting to like my network and like my network's network, and I'm like, I need somebody to put me in contact with the Georgia Aquarium because I want to do something special for my 500th episode.
This just organically came up. This is weird.
Do you know somebody?
No, but I just thought it's weird because we were talking
I've thought about this. Like, I really want to do
Well, I think that's a great idea, and it should be like a gala, and we should interview the whale shark. And I'm not joking. I'm not even joking.
So where did you come from? I don't know. They built this place around me. You're like, oh shit.
They don't talk, Logan.
Stupid. I am. New sponsor alert, everybody. I want to tell you about my new friends over at Value Sesh. Bang for buck doesn't always have to mean cheap quality. For Value Sesh, it means that they're dedicated to offering the best tasting Delta 9 sweets with solid potency at a totally decent price. They are a family company that loves to share good vibes, and their candy always does the trick without breaking the bank. Try their 50-count bags of taffies, pure Wisconsin honey sticks, and a full menu of signature gummies. They're federally legal, ship right to your door. What don't you like about this operation? Their gummies are great. Their taffies are great. All of their products are good. I tried them myself this last weekend, and I am a new customer. So should you. Try out Value Sesh. Go to valuesesh.com to get yours. That's VALUSESH.com so that you can try out their products yourself. You will not regret it. Value Sesh. Sesh for less. This has been a lot of fun.
It's been so fun.
But we're not done yet.
We aren't?
Nope. Every episode, I ask my guest a collection of questions towards the end of it.
Is this like rapid fire?
They can be, or we can discuss if needed. But I ask every guest the same grouping of questions.
Okay, let's plan to do it rapid fire.
Okay.
But like, if you want to, like,
we'll
just do whatever we want.
Fire.
We'll just do whatever we want.
Yeah, we will. We will. They're very first date like questions. So I don't know when the last time you were on a first date was.
Actually, it was a couple weeks ago.
Will there be a second date?
You know what? We said we would like to go on one, and I think we plan to. So
good for you. Love that for you.
Yeah.
Are you ready for my questions?
Ready, Sergeant.
Number one, in what? Not when. What is your favorite?
It's going well.
What's your favorite movie?
Do you know what? Rapid fire was too intimidating. My favorite movie is oh god, there's so many. It's really hard to choose. But like The Great Gatsby is really up there. It is also my favorite book, so it's really up there. Also, What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams. Also, Phantom of the Opera. Like when I was a kid, I just like watched it so many times. So I give you 3. Next question.
Love that. Your first job ever. What was it?
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
Shout out D'Iberville, Mississippi. Taco Bell. You raised me. You taught me everything I know.
Taylor Gang.
One love.
You get to organize a music festival. Who are your 3 headliners?
I'd be so great at this.
Alive or dead?
Alive or dead. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
They have to be either all alive or all dead. No, I'm just kidding about that part.
I was like, I don't even know how to answer that. Oh my gosh, this is okay. Hear me out, because you said something about swag earlier. Maybe when you're talking about merch.
You inviting Soulja Boy?
Justin Bieber. Ooh, that face was a visceral reaction.
Yeah.
Why do you not like
people know this because they've subscribed, because this is coming out, the second week of August. And the first week of August is the launch of my newsletter, Hammerhead Monthly.
Okay, what's that to do with Justin Bieber?
And I used to do this newsletter, and I used to talk about content that I'd binged or watched or listened to, and I would review it. And people were like, if you ever bring the newsletter back, like, keep that segment in there. So I did. So I wrote today, actually, my review for swag.
Oh my gosh. And why did your face look like that? You didn't like it because you're a loser?
Because I hated swag.
Because you're a loser. Why did you hate it?
Because it's a bad album.
It is not.
No, okay, let me retract.
Quantify that.
It is a bad Justin Bieber album.
It is not.
It is not good.
What metrics are you using to measure by?
Preferably the United States metric system.
We don't have one.
You're right.
So
invalid. I was just, his last album was great.
Justice?
Yes.
Yes.
The album before that I liked a lot. The Orange Cover one.
Slightly red, but that's fine.
Whatever. I really enjoyed both of those, and never did I ever think, also, by the way, if you would have gone back in time and told like middle school Logan that I'd be like listening to Justin Bieber as an adult.
Me neither. I wasn't into Justin Bieber.
No, never was.
You know how I got into him? I met him actually.
Shut up.
In LA. Yeah. I met him at church, and my friend was like, hey, I gotta go tell him that I've been praying for him. So this is like around purpose, okay?
Yeah.
And so I was like, do not. That is so cringy.
That is so lame.
He's like just trying to be a person and go to church.
He's just trying to go to church.
And she did not listen to me, and she was like, I have to do it.
She told him?
Yeah. So she walked up to him. I think I have a picture of my phone, actually. Someone took from behind me like with her talking to him. And she told him, oh my God, he was so nice. He was like, really, like, that means the world to me. Like, thank you so much. Thank you for telling me that. Thank you for praying for me. Like, honestly, that means so much to
me.
That's
so cool.
And I was like, of course, everybody loved Baby, right? But I like wasn't into like him,
Right.
And then I went home and listened to the entire Purpose album, and I was like, me too, Justin. And then that's been my man since then,
That's funny. Yeah, I just was expecting something different, and that's not necessarily on him. That's maybe on my expectations. Because, he goes 4 or 5 years without releasing anything, and then boom, he says, oh yeah, on a Wednesday, he says, oh yeah, by the way, Friday an album's coming out. And it's like, sick. Awesome.
Well, and we can take a moment just to get into that a little bit.
Sure.
Because I think a lot of people share that same view. One of my friends was like, okay, which tracks are you liking? Because I'm not liking any. And I gave them all to him, and he was like, I don't like those. And I was like, that's fair. Like, because I think people have this 2020 view of Justin, where like 2020 changed for things for a lot of people.
Yeah.
For him, what did he find out? People were betraying him that he grew up with, that, you know, he really kind of woke up to the kind of life he had. And I relate to that, right? Like, I mean, I'm not a pop star and I don't get all that, but like going through what you do as a child, that's really, really hard.
Sure.
And I think so. One, he's not managed by the same people. He doesn't have the same obligations to produce hits, right? He actually gets to make music now that he wants to make.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why it's different. And so it's kind of like we're at this, did you really like Justin, or did you just like the persona and the pop star they created for you to like so they could make money off you, you know?
It was more like, I think I liked, by the way, I just thought of this, but Eeny Meeny Banger.
Eeny Meeny Miny
Banger. Also, shout out to Sean Kingston. He's in prison. And his mom.
Should we be
for like
him out?
money laundering or something. Or tax evasion. I think it was tax evasion. But either way,
who wants to pay their taxes?
The Biebs, nobody. Who wants to evade taxes? I do. I don't, for the record. The IRS is listening.
Me neither. You know what?
Listening,
I'm waiting on my tax guy to give me my tax projections so I can pay them. It's not my fault. Anyway.
But yeah, I just didn't love it. Of course, I love Go Baby because it's like trendy.
Baby, go, baby,
it kind of goes.
Go, baby, go, baby, go.
I'm definitely listening to it on the way home now.
Yeah.
And even, I'm going to tell you to do this to me so that, because you did it to that other guy, text me the songs that you like. I want to go back and re-listen to them and see what I think.
I will, but I can tell you right now, off the dome.
I won't remember.
But it'll be recorded, so you have. And your audience should know. Daisies, obviously, Daisies is the like pop single everybody's gonna love.
Let me see which ones I kept.
Go Baby, obviously, you already like that one. Yep. Yukon. Okay, Yukon is easily one of my favorites. It's the one where his voice is like pitched up, you know?
Yeah.
And then Swag, actually, I have these phases where I'll listen to one track and it's my favorite, and then I'll burn it out, and then I'll go to another one, and then that one becomes my favorite. So 405 and Swag right now I really like. Things You Do, Hailey Bieber posted that was all freestyle, and I really liked that. Fun fact also, like when they did their baby announcement that they posted, Devotion was like the song that was playing in the background. So he's actually been working on this album for years.
A long time.
Yeah, and some people are like, oh, he just threw this out to make money like really quickly and and it's like, guys, I think you underestimate our dude.
We do.
He is a genius. So.
The songs that I kept 6 tracks out of the 15 or so that there were. I kept Daisies. I kept Go Baby. I kept the song with Gunna, Way It Is.
And that's just the way it is.
Oh, you're a fan. I kept Walking Away. I liked that one.
Baby, I ain't walking away.
Yeah, that one went. Went hard.
Yeah.
And then Sweet Spot with Sexy Red.
No, you did not.
I kept Sexy Red.
That is the only song I don't. And let me tell you, I like the song, but as soon
you just hate her.
I don't hate her, but like as soon as she came in, put it on me, baby.
Get it sexy. Get it sexy.
I was like,
I just liked the beat.
No, it is a good.
That's all I really look for. Is I just want to be able to bop to it.
Yeah.
This album wasn't very boppy. It was very. You could tell he's gone through some shit. He's very expressive in this album compared to others in the past.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just wasn't what I wanted. And I had the small hope in the back of my mind that it was going to be a rap album, because he changed his name to Lil Bieber on Instagram like 2 weeks before the album was announced. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, the Biebs is putting out a rap, because he was a feature on a rap song that not a lot of people have heard. And it's so good. It's called Private Landing with Don Oliver and Future. Justin Bieber has a little part in it. He's not necessarily rapping, but he's got this part and his voice just flows on this beat. And I was like, Biebs could do a rap album. He would have probably a lot of features on it, but Biebs could do a rap album.
So have you considered the possibility that he's going to release more?
I have.
Because
like a double album.
A deluxe. I think that's what's going to happen.
I think it's either going to be a double or a deluxe situation.
He's been working too long and too hard for that to be it, I think, personally. So,
like, what if this one's called Swag and then the second part of it is like Swagger or something?
Swag part 2.
Yeah.
What's the, I don't know, some Eminem album title that,
Marshall Mathers too,
yeah, I
and then
think
the Marshall Mathers 3.
yes, I think that resonated. I was like, he's gonna do that.
Yeah.
Swag 2, swag 3, swag 4, swag
I
5,
hope not.
the swaggiest, swag 17.
I
It'll be
was
like
gonna
now
say, I was
music.
trying like the Fast and Furious movie titles, like too swag, too.
Too swag, too serious.
But
Not
it just
swag
wasn't what I
enough.
wanted. But
Yeah.
I do like those 6 songs. But
Okay, so that was only the first artist for my.
go next.
Where do I go from here?
I don't
Where
know.
do I go from here? So, do you know who Jake is?
Jake.
JVKE. Got famous off like TikTok, basically.
Okay.
Had the song Golden Hour. You ever heard that?
Sounds familiar, but I don't know.
It's my golden hour. Lots of piano.
You have a great singing voice.
Thank you very much. I worked very hard on it. Anyway, I would pick him because he's like a genius. And these are all like current people because I'm just like, we'll let the dead rest. Which is, I mean, because I'm just operating in reality. Like, I know you gave me that rule, but that's not real. And so I'm going to just, this is how I'm eliminating the ones that I would, it's too many people. Okay. Who else? Who else? Who else? Okay, wait, actually, I did think if I could bring someone back from the dead, I would pick Mac Miller.
Really? Mac Miller gal.
I was a very big Mac Miller gal back in the day.
Understood.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. So it wouldn't be a Coldplay concert. Hey.
Hey, modern joke.
Which actually
Pop culture. Oh my God,
actually.
you have a Coldplay.
Can the people, I don't see
Isn't
this.
that the damn font from the album cover
Yeah.
too?
Yeah, that's the exact.
Wow, you are a Coldplay fan.
I was 18. It was my first tattoo. I
Wow.
wanted to get it on my wrist. And they said it won't fit. And I said, slap her right there, pal. And my best friend went, are you sure? I'm scared. And I was like, whatever, I don't care.
And now anyone that's
For the
seen
rest of my
Viva La
life.
Vida.
Oh, yeah. When I went into boot camp, they were like, Seaman Weiss, why did you draw on your arm with a Sharpie?
Seaman Weiss?
Yeah, that's what they.
Oh, Seaman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. At first I was like, Seaman, but you joined the Navy. She joined the Navy,
In
folks.
the Navy.
Not being dirty here. She joined the Navy. Navy.
Yeah, they were like, why'd you draw on your arm?
Thank you for your service, by the way.
You're welcome. Even though it was short-lived.
Yeah, but you still did the thing that I wouldn't have the
did.
courage to do, so thank you.
You're welcome. I will accept that. But yeah, they were like, why'd you draw on your arm with a Sharpie? And I was like, you're an idiot. I was like,
That's
you
exactly-
really thought?
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah,
Good lineup, though.
They weren't smart.
Good lineup for that concert. I'd buy tickets.
Good. Yeah.
On a day that you're not working in some capacity, how do you take care of yourself? How do you recharge?
Dang, that's like low key, like a really good question. Yeah, I have a problem of like working all the time.
Do you?
And so
Me too.
when I like left that job 2 years ago, I like some health issues. So I went to a naturopath doctor and she really helped me. Like I had like adrenal fatigue, like my liver was messed up, my gallbladder, like
Wow.
I had a chronic illness, like I just had a lot of things. And it really helped me to like see her and address those things naturally, not just like in take these supplements, use this oil, whatever, but like go to bed at a reasonable hour, get sunlight the first 15 minutes of the day. Yeah. And I was like, my life can be more than work. Wow. Like having those 3 months off was because I've always worked. Like as soon as I had to get a job, I got a job. And I've always been like, I got to provide for myself. I got to,
Sure.
And so it was really nice to just rest and recharge. I love to watch TV and movies. I mean, that's my jam because it's kind of, for me, it's research, it's professional because I'm an actress.
You can expense it.
Yeah.
Put
but
that on your taxes.
You really can.
You can.
But I really love people. Honestly, people recharge me. Like I get so much energy just off of this. Like I'll be like,
you're on such a high.
yes. And introverted people don't get that. And it's very sad.
It is.
So like if I'm home too long, that drains me.
Yeah.
I have to text my friends and be like, no, I need you. What are you doing? I need you. But I like, I like to read. I don't do it as much as I used to when I was growing up, but I really do. I like to go on a walk. We got a nice lake down where I live. So yeah.
Very cool.
I like to play games.
Lovely. What is some of the best advice that you've been given in your past that you kind of carry with you every day?
Shoot. I knew you were going to ask this question because I've seen your show and I still didn't come up with, so I have to think about it.
Or something I've debated on, like kind of tweaking this question a little bit. Like what's a quote that stands out to you that you really enjoy?
Yeah, I'll give you too. So my cool pastor friend I told you about this, like that he's actually so cool. He sang Purpose once at our youth group for like
Wow.
he played the piano, and I was like,
So good.
what? It was actually really cool. Okay, don't be a jerk.
What does that
So
even
anyway,
mean?
oh, it's like
Is it a
it's
heroin
actually a
thing?
drug thing, but then like frat boys took it
Okay.
and to make it. You know how
I
this
just
was like
realized it as we
gangs.
were sitting here
Then
that like that's probably like a
it's relevant to the topic of our episode, so it's fine. Anyway.
totally unrelated, but I just remembered something I wanted to ask you earlier.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Is your mom with us?
Yes. We're like laughing when you ask that. I feel terrible.
Your
People,
mom,
I'm
your
so
mom
sorry.
is not.
She,
She's
yeah,
alive.
she lives
is she
in
okay?
Florida. She's fine. My mom has gone on her own journey, and
Okay.
you know, her like addiction really started with like chronic pain and stuff,
Mhm.
and like being prescribed stuff.
As a lot of people's do.
Yeah, and so she still has to take some medication, but I don't believe it's the same as it was like when I was growing up. And you know, my mom actually texted me a couple years back and told me that God healed her one night. She said I was laying there and I felt like these masses in my lungs like dissolve.
Wow.
And I was like, what? And then she's like, and I know I have to like serve him with my life. And I was like, talk about like you pray for your parent. I prayed for my mom so much. It never turns out when you pray for people, it never turns out what you think it should be like, you know?
Right.
So I was like, okay. And so then I would be like, hey, are you like going to church or like, and she's like, no, I'm like, okay, we're all on our own journey. But
Yeah.
no, she's good. I mean, you know, she's still
Yeah, she's still your mom.
she's still my mom. So
But anyway, your quotes.
yeah, so
Sorry.
this ties right into it, man. So that cool pastor I told you about, his wife. I mean, I like lived with them at one point in my life. They're really great friends. She told me this quote one time. She said, "You are never not looking into the eyes of someone that God loves."
Wow, that's
Isn't that
powerful.
crazy? So think of like the worst person, the worst idiot that you know.
I'm looking. No, I'm picturing him.
Oh. I was like, first of all, I'm a woman.
I'm looking at her right now. I fucking hate. Sorry, there's the F-bomb. We said before we started recording that no F-bombs, and we did it almost for the last 10 minutes of this conversation. We made it the whole. In my defense, I started the word and never really finished it, never stuck the landing.
You probably drew more attention to it. If you want to just edit out your rambling about it for the last
Now I'm
5
not.
minutes, no one will know. Anyway,
They didn't
yeah,
get
but
this
like
far.
if you think of that person, you're like kind of like crap. Like God really loves that person. And I know some
Yeah.
terrible people.
Sure.
And here I am thinking I'm better than them. What? Like,
That's really powerful.
So yeah, so that quote, and then I would say this one kind of goes hand in hand. My pastor told me one time, it's not about who's right, it's about what's right. And this goes for
Ooh.
like relationships, you know, you're arguing with your wife, you're whatever. And I was like, dang, because I always want to be right. But that's not important. It's about what is the right thing to do, like
Sure.
what's right in that moment. So
Sure.
those two things changed my life for sure.
Very
I think
good.
about those a lot.
Very good pieces.
Yeah.
What is your biggest fear?
Dying alone. No one will love me. Being rejected. Like those are my biggest fears. I'll tell you those are, but also that people I love will get hurt. Like that something bad will happen
Sure.
to people I love. So I mentioned to you I nanny, right? So I lived with a family back home off and on for like 4 or 5 years, and they became like family to me. And their little girl that I like raised her since she was born. I'm telling you, my biggest fear in life is like when you think of a kid and like how innocent they are and precious, like something happens to them. Oh, I don't know. Do you have kids?
No.
You know, you're like a nephews, nieces, friends who have kids.
Yes. I have a godchild.
Oh, okay. I just saw my godson, so you can relate. Like if anybody touched him, you'd be
Oh.
Livid. Like right. So that's kind of my worst
Did I
nightmare.
say I have a godson?
You did.
I have a godchild. It's a
Oh.
female. She is a little woman. She is like,
Maybe
she's not even 2.
maybe I thought you said godson.
I think I said godson. In the moment, I was like,
Well, I
wait,
have a godson.
because in the moment, I was like, wait a minute. When you said something like, yeah, well, if someone touched him, and I
Yeah.
thought, I did say godson. No, I have a godchild, and she's the best.
Yeah,
And
everybody did
she's not
mess
even
with
two.
her.
She's the cutest little thing. So if I heard that someone was
Yeah, somebody messed with
doing
her.
some shit,
You'd kill her.
yeah,
I mean, kill them. It's
yeah,
not
would
her.
not kill her. Would kill them. I would, yeah, I would seriously
Yeah.
injure or kill the person hurting
Yeah.
her.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my worst fear.
Yeah, it's valid.
Thanks for opening that up.
You're welcome. And then lastly, Jen, what is your main motivator? What pushes you? What keeps you going? What is your morning drive?
Hmm. You know, I would have given you a churchy answer.
I was expecting that.
I would have. But
Look at you keeping me on my toes.
I think like ultimately I do want to honor God, but I want to help people. And some of that is like I think about the little girl version of me. It's like a pretty emotional thing to think about your like younger you and you shared about like therapy and all and the things that you're dealing with and like how would how can you be the person that you needed when you were little? I think that's what I think of. And I think when I'm nannying kids and when I'm like doing parties for kids, like I think about that more than probably any other motivating factor because it was so rough growing up that I don't want that for anybody. Like I don't want. So I think about that when I'm like watching kids and I'm like annoyed by them or something. I'm like, oh my God, why? They're just a kid. I need to love them right now. Like I need, or this kid whose party I'm at, and I'm like, up where they walk, up where they run. And I'm like, her dream is coming true right now.
Yeah.
Like she
You're
gets
making her whole life.
not her whole life, but like today for her,
Yeah.
And that's super special. So yeah, I'd say that's like my drive is being who you needed when you were a little kid.
I love that answer. That's really well said.
Thanks.
So now, Jen, go ahead and tell the people how to find you. Tell them how to get to your event, where to get tickets. Tell them about your creative organization. Spill the beans, advertise.
Well, personally, I hope you don't come and find me because I'll have to call the police. I had to get one more joke in. But you can find me on social media like everybody else. So Facebook page is The Creative Christian. Instagram is the.creative Christian. We even have a TikTok, The Creative Christian. My personal Instagram is going to be at Jenny. No, I changed it. So I don't know if it's Jenny _Blaine 228 or Jennifer _Blaine 228, but you'll figure it out.
Blaine, your middle name?
It is. Yes. Yes.
Very cool.
And then, yeah, so we have like an event on Facebook. It's called Masterpiece Fundraiser. And you can go there to get all the info. I can give you a link if you want to put it in the show notes. And we can take it from there. Yeah.
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 Very good. Jen, this was so much fun.
I know. It was a good time, huh?
I told you 2 hours ago.
You're a good hang.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. But I also just more than that, just appreciate you opening up to a complete stranger and being willing to dive into some of the heaviest pieces of your life, because I know it's not easy to bring that stuff up. And it's really inspiring, the comeback story that you've been a part of. I used to think Robert Downey Jr. was the greatest comeback story of all time. I think that might be you. You've came from shit, and you have. And you've managed to figure out a way to help other people. Usually people who come from nothing stay nothing, statistically. But you've kind of figured out a way to harness all of that energy and use it for good. And I think that's really powerful and inspiring. So
I swear this isn't a churchy answer, okay? But like you saying that to me, I'm like, man, I'm nobody. You know what I mean? Like, I hear you and I appreciate that. But I would have stayed nothing if it weren't for those experiences. Yeah. And so that's the only hope. Because even I wake up in the morning, I don't want to help people. I want some coffee. So I need God to even be that person. And I think we all want to do good, but in our own ways, we can be kind of selfish. And so I appreciate that, though. I do. And I need to work on like receiving that better because we'll just make jokes, you know?
Well, to be fair, I do the same thing, and it's something I'm working on too. The moment that someone,
Pound it.
I will, the moment that someone starts to give me praise for the one thing that I want praise for, I'm like, oh, well, I'm just actually a loser. I don't do anything cool. But exploring that in therapy, it's tough. It's
It
hard.
makes me sad, and now
It
I
is.
need to stop doing that.
Yeah, it's bad.
But you should come to the show because
I'd love to.
it's all about that.
I would love to. But for real, though, thank you for your time. You gave me so much of your evening. I appreciate it so
You're
much.
welcome. And I drove like so many hours before coming here.
Yeah.
And
You
I'm
had
gonna
so much
try.
energy. You would have not known that you came out of a road trip.
Because Buc-ee's. Make a stop for the beaver. Sponsored by Buc-ee's.
Make a stop for the beaver. Put that on a poster. Guys, I'll make sure that I throw the links that we talked about in the description of the episode so that if you're interested in any of the things we talked about, you can just scroll down, tap on what you need, get tickets to the show. I'll be there. She'll be there, obviously.
I'm going to be in it.
She'll be
I'm
in
actually
it.
in
You're
it.
a star.
Let me be your star. I don't know what the hands
You
are.
sound like Ariel.
Thank you.
I trust that you'll kill it at that tomorrow, but you got to get your tail first.
I got to get out of here and get my tape.
We'll go ahead and get you out of here. But guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to this. Send this to somebody that needs to hear it. Please share it with a coworker, a friend, a family member, your boss, your ex-boyfriend, someone that needs to hear this episode. Send it to him. We appreciate your time so much. Thank you, Jen, for your time tonight. And we will get with you guys next time.
Thank you, Logan.
Bye.
All right, we did it.